Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character and random weapon, try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. We're going for win streaks here, so I'm going to spoil where we're at in terms of our win rate in 3, 2, 1. We have won 3 out of 3 runs so far, so looking good. Let's see if we can keep up the streak. I'm going to roll and see what character I get, and we've got the Masochist. Okay, Masochist is a really interesting one. We obviously have a lot of defensive stats, but we need to take damage. Much harder on the Abyss in general, because the damage instances are much higher. And there are some weapons, of course, that are going to be very bad for this character, so hopefully we don't get one of those. But let's see what we got. Alright, we got the Lute. This is going to increase enemy damage. Lute, of course, with musical and support tags is a great weapon just by itself. I'd say this is kind of a mid-tier role for the Masochist. One problem that it has is that it has very high knockback, so it's going to prevent us from... And quite low base damage, so we have to take a lot of hits to boost our damage to the point where it actually kills stuff. And the knockback is going to make it harder to actually kill things. Or actually take hits. On the other hand, we'll get a lot of stats from it, and Masochist can really struggle with early economy stats because it's harder for you to clear the early waves. Actually, wait, Lute only has 2 knockback. For some reason, I thought this had more knockback. So, never mind. The Lute, I think, is actually a pretty solid weapon for this character. I think Lute's just a great weapon overall, so ignore everything I just said. We'll take another Lute here, and then I'm going to roll, and Scared Sausage is another way that we could deal damage. I don't think we care about that. Lumberjack Shirt is very good for Masochists, because it lets you kill trees before you have built up a bunch of damage, and Plant is just such an efficient item that we're definitely going to buy it, and we'll lock another Lute. Already at 10 luck and 15 harvesting, because Lute is an awesome item, so very happy about that. Gonna deliberately tank a few hits here, try to get my damage going. Yeah, so because it doesn't actually have high knockback, this weapon I think is going to be great for this character. Because it gives us the economy stats that we need. It will help buff up. The debuff is really good for as we continuously apply damage, as we continuously increase our damage, enemies will have reached the maximum debuff, so we're going to be able to do buffed damage. Constantly increasing damage to them over the course of the wave, so that'll help kill elites and stuff much more quickly. Do I just take 5 luck here, or do I roll for harvesting? I could also just take attack speed, because that's very important on the Lute as well. I think what I'm going to do is just roll for harvesting, roll one more time. I missed, but I'm just going to take some regeneration, because we need as much of that as we can get, and we'll take a harvesting here also. Although we're getting harvesting from the Lutes, more harvesting is always good, especially if you get it going early, and it stacks very well with itself because it increases the amount you get at the end of every wave. Alright, we have found our 6th Lute. That's awesome. Finding all 6 of our support and musical weapon tags is amazing in the early game, so I would say we're doing pretty well so far. I knew I shouldn't have doubted the Lute. I was like, maybe this is not a great weapon for this character, but no, this weapon's just amazing for everybody, so... Why would Masochist be an exception? I haven't seen this show up high on a lot of people's lists. It's not a weapon you see mentioned as being great for like every character, but Lute I think is just absolutely busted. It just fixes your economy completely by itself, and is also a great weapon in terms of damage. I'll take the Claw Tree here. It scales with luck, which is amazing, obviously, because it means that you can scale your damage by buying stats that also improve your economy. I'll take the Claw Tree here, because 1 HP is not a big deal. And do I just take 6 melee damage here? It only scales 50% with our Lute, but increasing the base damage of our weapons is pretty good, so I think I will just take that. Take the Lute here, and then I will buy both of these. Ugly Tooth, I think, is worth buying. When you're playing Masochist, this can help us take damage from enemies on purpose. It can also... help get away from elites if we're not ready to fight them yet. I'll pick up a leveled up Lute, and then of course we're going to buy luck and regeneration. I'm going to throw in one reroll here. We're guaranteed to see at least one weapon, and that weapon could be a Lute, and we're ready to go to the next wave. For only 3, that reroll is cheap enough that we definitely want it. So I want to focus more on regen than lifesteal. Ideally, we would find blood donation or bloody hand in order to trigger the self-damage constantly. But either way, we're pretty happy to just improve our damage output by walking into enemies. We'll take as much armor and regeneration as we can get. Gonna kill this first alien over trying to run for that tree, because I wasn't sure I would make it to the tree in time, so I wanted to just kill the curse alien. Take more harvesting here, and for melee damage, do I buy an armor? Do I reroll for something better? I think I'm gonna reroll for something better than just 1 armor, because with all of this luck, I think we can do better. Here, I will take 10 luck over 7 crit chance, though. The crit chance, we don't have the base damage on our weapon yet to take a ton of advantage of. And early luck, of course, is really good, because it gets you better items. And higher levels, and all the things that luck always does. Leather vest or another loot. I guess I will level up my weapon here. Lock the leather vest. Do I buy alien worm? Consumable heal is really nice for this character. We have a lot of luck, so we're going to be generating a lot of consumables. But HP and regen are also really nice. I think I will take the alien worm. This could be a mistake. This is an item that I've come up on in terms of how I evaluate it a little bit, though, because you just want to stack so much regen on the Abyss. And for this character in particular, we already start with a lot of regen. Regen stacks very well with itself, so you want to build it. When you have regeneration, you want to build more of it. So buying the alien worm for this character, I think, is fine. And hopefully we can find a lemonade or a weird food to offset that, or ideally a jerky. Do I reroll here for an attempt at finding 1 more loot? For 6 materials, I think we're going to pass. We were guaranteed to see a weapon in that shop, so we could potentially get ourselves another loot out of that. Somewhat reliably, but I think for 6 materials, trying to find and lock 1 is not worth the risk of just wasting those 6. Continue to take damage, because, of course, we want to boost our damage output and improve our wave clear speed. Yeah, the synergy here with the loot increasing our damage over time as our damage is being increased by the Masochist passive is really nice. And then, of course, Masochist normally in the early waves suffers from weak wave clear, weak economy because of its slow wave clear. We don't, because we have 50 harvesting. I'll take the coffee here. Recycling machine is great because, of course, we're going to be generating a lot of crates with all this luck. And we'll take 10 harvesting here as well. We'll take a leather vest and a propeller hat and then roll. Level 2 loot is excellent. A bean teacher will be really nice also. So let's go ahead and buy those. For 7 here, I'll reroll 1 more time. Sharp bullet doesn't do anything. So let's go to the next wave. 45 luck isn't that high, but it's enough to get level 3 items like that to show up a little more frequently, and sometimes you get lucky and you're going to get a bean teacher. I can't believe I started this video off by saying, this is sort of a mid-tier roll, but no, of course this weapon's just broken. Never doubt Lute. There are characters that it's bad for, but not many. Is there any chance we kill that? Unfortunately, no. I would have needed to stack a little bit more damage earlier. I'm going to recycle the dynamite. We're not going to get any explosion damage anytime soon. I'll take 2 armor here, because more armor is really important. And then let's reroll here. I think we can do better. This early, I'm still just going to take the harvesting. I just love getting early harvesting, as you know, and sometimes you get early harvesting and you get rewarded. Dang. We're going to take the crown, and we'll take the bean teacher. This is an extremely blessed run so far. Claw tree. I think I'm not going to lock it. I am going to throw in one reroll here because we can maybe find some other good items. And yeah, we found some other good items. I'm going to lock all of these. Weird Ghost will cost me a little bit of damage at the start of the wave, but we want the max HP anyways. And with 30 regeneration, we should be healed up enough to tank damage fairly early with the Weird Ghost regardless. I am reaching the point where the incoming damage is pretty high, though. So that's something I'm going to have to be aware of, because I have 10 armor, but of course we're playing on the Abyss. Enemies do tons and tons of damage on this map, so every damage instance that we take is extremely high. The more armor we get, the better off we're going to be in order to not take really high damage instances. So that's going to be our next priority, is boosting our armor as much as possible. And our max HP as well, so we can take more damage without putting ourselves in danger of just getting one shot at the start of waves, which is part of why I want the Weird Ghost. Take the metal here, that's an excellent find, and then dodge is not bad on this character, by the way. You might think that you wouldn't want dodge on the Masochist because you want to tank damage, but you can just run into the middle of enemy waves and it's still fine. You'll still be able to take damage, but early I'm not going to invest in dodge. I think I'm just going to take the attack speed here. Attack speed is something that we're missing. Do I want melee damage, HP? I'm going to roll. I think we can get a level 3 upgrade, and we can. I'll take a level 3 speed here. Take the coffee, Weird Ghost, lure, and banner, and then roll. Baby elephant. This scales with our luck, so of course it's something that we want. Spicy sauce. I think we do want 36 max HP, definitely on the low end, so I'm going to invest in that. And now I just need to remember not to tank damage for a little bit here, and now we can start taking a couple hits, especially from these little guys, because they only do 4 damage a pop. So you can see the Weird Ghost cost me like a little bit of clear speed in the beginning of the wave. Might have cost me an extra like 5 materials or so by the end of this wave. Just not having built up that early damage, but we were able to start tanking damage pretty quickly because our regen was high, and we got the Weird Ghost value, so our max HP is a lot better than it was before. Trying to clear the enemies that do lots of damage as well. Very important to kill the enemies that do really high individual instances of damage. All right, we have a lure. I was like, hey, 2 loot aliens in a row, but I just had forgotten that we had bottle lure. Bowler hat, amazing. Obviously an incredible find for us. Spicy sauce, I will take. And let me reroll here. I think we can do better. I'll take 15 luck to boost the base damage of our weapons. Percent damage is pretty good on the Masochist because it just means fewer hits you have to take before you start doing damage. And I think I will just take the 8% there. I think that's better than just re-rolling a bunch. Let's go ahead and upgrade our weapon, buy a spicy sauce, buy the baby elephant. I'm not going to bother with the hedgehog. I think we can do better than that. Little muscly dude and broken mouth, though, we're definitely going to pick up. For 12 with 2 locked, I'm not going to re-roll. Alright, let's walk into some enemies here and start tanking some damage. I don't want to take too many hits from the big guy because he just does a lot of damage. But let's walk over here and take a couple more damage instances. I should probably have let that egg hatch, actually. Because our damage is high enough that we can definitely let the eggs hatch and get a little bit of extra money out of them. Ooh, a cursed slasher. Yeah, because the slashers drop 4 materials more if they're cursed by default. So if you have the damage to allow those eggs to hatch, you make more money out of letting them. We're now starting to leave materials everywhere all over the map because I have the baby elephant, which is just popping things because it does a ton of damage. And 500 materials with 38 on the ground, wave 9. Feeling pretty good about that. Take the metal plate here, and let's take some more luck. Just pretty much always luck on this character. Though I'll take 4 regen. I really do want to make sure that my regeneration is keeping up with the amount of damage that enemies are doing. Buy this and this. Take the duct tape for sure. Alien Eyes is another way to deal damage. How much do I care about that? I think I'm going to take it because it can help burst down elites. We have 54 HP, so it's not amazing currently. But I think that the Alien Eyes is just going to help do a little bit of extra burst damage to kill elites. Estes Couch. It's funny. We could actually be an Estes Couch build, but I'm still not going to take it. Because it's just too dangerous to pick up that item. And I'd much rather be a power generator build. That seems way better to me. So we'll go ahead and take that. And then lock the fin. Goat Skull, I will pass on. So let's do one more reroll. And we'll go ahead and lock another Lute. Want to run into the little baby aliens to tank my damage, because of course they do the least damage of all the enemies, so they're what you want to use to build the Masochist passive. Another nice thing about the power generator is that you can use it to boost your percent damage, so you need to take fewer hits, but also it makes you better at taking hits because you can get to the enemies more easily. And then once you've gotten your health low, you've got good move speed to get back out of the way. So power generator and just building high move speed on this character is very, very synergistic overall. That's 4 crates because we've got high luck. I love economy builds. And we're killing that tree. $580 materials on wave 10 with 150 harvesting. I'll take the goat skull here because it's, comes from a crate, so I think it's worth picking up. Honey, I think, even though we have double spicy sauce, I don't care that much about my explosions, so I'm going to go ahead and recycle that. Cursed bowler hat, amazing. Obviously, this could not be a better item for us, so we'll take that, and then we're going to recycle the reinforced steel. We'll take 9 speed because we have a power generator. Do I just want 3 regen? I think with 120 luck, we can get a higher level upgrade, and I will just take 4 melee damage there. Effectively 4 melee damage, because we only scale at 50%. Go ahead and buy this, and buy this, and roll. Already up to 77% damage, or minus 77% damage. That's pretty nice, because it means that it's just many fewer hits that we have to take in order to actually kill enemies. I'm definitely going to buy the Cursed Lute. That's incredible. And we'll go ahead and just upgrade that to level 3. We can get to a level 4 Cursed Lute pretty quickly. Once again, this run seems to be... we're just getting everything. Rip and Tear. How much do I care about the Rip and Tear? I didn't buy any explosion damage or size upgrades. And honestly, I think our damage is fine. It only scales off our melee damage, which I have actually boosted quite a bit. But I think we can just pass on the Rip and Tear. I think we're going to kill stuff pretty quickly without it. And spending 140 on it doesn't seem that good to me. I'm going to go take some damage from the other enemies on the field before I tangle with the elite, just to boost my damage output here. And then as we've taken a few hits, we should be able to start putting some burst damage onto the elite and debuffing it, making sure to walk into other enemies, but ideally not the elite's attacks because they hit particularly hard, so they're a very inefficient way of building damage from our passive. And we got it. One other nice thing about Cursed Lute is that it scales the debuff as well, so the maximum debuff is higher when you have a Cursed Lute. So elites just start melting because they're taking like double damage from all your attacks. And you can see here we now do enough damage that we're just one-shotting like even the more dangerous enemies. So we're really starting to accelerate. Regeneration potion, of course, we will take, because that's one of the ways that we could lose is by not having enough regen. I'm going to take luck here over armor. I'm just going to get greedy, and then we will take loot bag and broken mouth and roll. Stone skin. Yeah, I'm going to take the stone skin. Losing 6% attack speed is a real downside. Our attack speed is one of the stats that we do actually need more of, but getting 21 HP is great. That means I'm actually going to skip this broken mouth. I don't really need more than 90 HP, and we're going to keep gaining health as we buy more armor. So I'm going to go ahead and skip Broken Mouth and just continue to look for other items to upgrade our damage output more than our HP. Campfire, I think 2 regen and -2 speed and damage is a little bit too expensive, so I'm going to pass on it, and I will roll. Scared Sausage. I could have bought the Ice Cube in anticipation of maybe finding Scared Sausage or Frozen Heart, because that would increase enemy damage taken more. As is, I think I'm just going to pass on it. We will pick up the Gecko. It goes well with the baby elephant that we have, and I'll take the metal as well. Plastic Explosive I'm still going to pass on. Even with a sort of broken run like this, I'd rather focus on doing the things that the character wants to do well as possible, rather than trying to build, like, every strategy at once. I think that that's one easy way that a lot of, especially newer or less experienced players, can put themselves in a bad position when building a character, is by trying to do every strategy at once. You know, you see a powerful engineering item, you think, okay, I can add some engineering into the build. You see a powerful elemental damage item, you think, all right, we're doing elemental damage. Now we're doing explosions. Whereas this character just wants to buy luck, buy percent damage, buy armor and regen, and just clown on everything. So it's going to be easier to just focus on the things that the character is meant to do and does really well than to try to do everything at once. Still making decent money at this point, even though wave 11 and 12 on the Abyss are typically very bad for income, but we've got 200 harvesting. We'll take 20 luck here as well, of course. And then I could just buy more harvesting, but I think we can buy stats that we care about more. We'll take some armor here. I could start building dodge as well, in order to have more defensive stats to fight the late game elites with, and I think that's not a bad idea. Getting to dodge cap is something that we do want to do, even though we want to tank damage. So we're gonna start working on that. I will take the whistle here for sure. Peacock. So 50% increased enemy damage. We do have 27 armor. How's our XP gain? We've got 50% already from the Bean Teacher. Think I'm going to take the Peacock. I think let's live a little. Let's have some fun. We'll take the Peacock. I'll also take the Glass Cannon as well, because that just means fewer hits we have to take in order to get to our maximum damage. And Barnacle will be really nice also. You can see here, even before we take a hit, our weapons do 20 damage. So already we're getting to the point where we won't even need to take hits on purpose. I also like, I really like the sound design on the Lute, where it just goes donk. Having higher dodge, by the way, just gives us more security, especially in the late game. Dodge multiplies really well with all of the things that we're buying. Armor, HP, and dodge and regeneration all make each other better. So the more regeneration and armor you have, the better and the more max HP, the better each point of dodge is. So even though it seems a little bit counterintuitive to buy dodge on a class that wants to tank damage, buying dodge here is so good before us because it works so well with all the defensive stats that we're buying that it increases our survivability many, many more times over than it would for another character that had fewer points in armor or regen or max health. Plastic Explosive, we're still not doing an explosion thing. We've gotten a lot of explosion size items. I could have ended up with a lot of explosion damage. That would have been kind of a fun direction to go, but I think we're still better off having focused up a little bit more. Let's take the Barnacle, of course, and Glass Cannon, head injury. So now we're only at minus 49 damage. Cyclops Worm gets us there as well, and Beanie also. Should I have taken the Wheelbarrow? Probably. I should have bought that over Cyclops Worm. I got a little excited. I think it's still worth buying because we have Crown and so much harvesting already. All of this harvesting is worth a lot, even this late. But obviously, if I was buying that, I should have bought it at a shop earlier. I saw it and sort of thought, wheelbarrow is not that good this late, but for this character, because we have crown, it's gonna pay off pretty quickly. And bean teacher and peacock increasing our XP gain, so every point of harvesting we get is worth more as well. I'm not going to go so far as to say that loot is like a cheat code or like a free win, but I will say that for a lot of characters, if you are struggling to win with a character and loot is an available option, I would recommend trying it, because it just solves so many of the problems that a lot of characters have. It does tons of damage. It means that you don't have to buy damage items, because you can just buy luck instead, and because it scales off of luck. And it fixes your economy pretty much by itself. So it really removes a lot of the decision-making that a lot of, then the balancing that a lot of characters have to do, because you just get all of everything instead of having to buy a little bit of some stuff and balance out your stats. You just get to have every stat be really, really high. I'll take the speed here. It's 4% less damage than the damage upgrade, but it also gives me 12 speed. Crystal, unfortunately, I don't think we can really use, because we do need to tank damage, so we'll buy both of these and then roll. Cursed Pearl with 147 luck. Yeah, don't mind if I do. How much? What's the chance of getting an extra pearl? 6%? Not bad. But, of course, this is also giving us now positive damage. Scarf is a little bit dangerous to buy on an elite wave. We do still want it because 4 regen is good, but I'm gonna just buy the Lucky Charm over it because we want both of these items. Lucky Charm scales our damage as well because we're the loot build. And this way we won't have a faster elite to contend with, which can be a little bit dangerous. I'll also take the defective steroids here, just a little bit of bonus damage, and we'll go to fight the elite. Start bonking it a bit, but then I'm going to run away and take a couple hits from other enemies on the field, and then we're going to run back in and fight the elite. Actually, I can just tank this elite. We've got high dodge, high armor, high damage, so I can't take every hit that it's dishing out, but I can still use it to trigger the Masochist passive pretty easily. The full heal there, also very useful for the Masochist, since, of course, it allows us to just take more hits before dying. Now, what we would really love to see is blood donation or bloody hand, so that we can take more constant damage, while also providing a ton of stats that we really actively want. We don't even really need to be taking damage anymore, because our percent damage is positive. But, of course, the more we take, the more damage we do. Triangle of Power is actually really interesting with the Masochist. So, if we take... so, basically, you can take up to 10 hits with Triangle of Power, and it will still be damage positive, right? How often does Masochist take more than 10 hits in a wave? Usually. But this also starts you off with more percent damage, so you're killing stuff right away, rather than killing it later on in the wave. So I actually think that Triangle of Power is quite good for this character. Now, here I'm not going to take it because I'm really hoping to roll into Bloody Hand or Blood Donation, and so I'm getting a little bit greedy by not taking this Triangle of Power. But I actually think that Triangle of Power is pretty good on the Masochist a lot of the time, and it's easy to dismiss that item, but because it helps front load your damage, it can help you clear the wave before you've built damage from the Masochist passive. And it still gives you a lot of... You can take a lot of hits with the Triangle before it starts being damage negative. So the amount of front loading that it does for you, it also gives you armor, which the character wants, means that it's not a bad pick on the Masochist. I'm going to take the Retrimation's Hoodie, of course. We're building dodge, and 40 attack speed is great, and we'll recycle this. Here, I will take 5 regen, and then I'm going to take 16 dodge, because that gets us towards dodge cap, and also, of course, gives us more attack speed, because we have the hoodie. Take the scarf here. I'm going to pass on Weird Ghost. We've got a Stone Skin. We have 100 HP. We don't need more HP. We could buy Weird Ghost. It would be fine, but we don't need it in particular. Take the helmet, though, and roll. Black Belt cost me luck, so we definitely don't want that, but I'll take Cauldron and Head Injury. Roll again. Cursed Dangerous Bunny, definitely. We'll keep rolling. Coil, so we currently have negative knockback. This would be even on knockback. I think I'm going to pass on the coil. If we get multiple coils, it could be pretty nice, but we would have to roll into several of them. We will take the wheat here, I think. Now, 4 HP it just isn't that exciting. Goblet I will take, though. That gives me a lot of additional enemy kills. I'm going to take the snake here just for 2 curse. I've said this a couple times in my recent videos, but I think that buying curse, even on items that don't do anything for you, is still just good. Spending 80 on 2 curse there is just good for our character. So now we've got the damage, we just kill stuff before we ever take a hit. And this is also part of why I think Triangle of Power can be good for the Masochists, too, because later on you can just stop taking hits. And then Triangle of Power is just providing you with a bunch of bonus damage at a very efficient rate. Triangle of Power, I think, is an item people underbuy for exactly the reason I didn't buy it in this run, which is that you really want to live the dream and get the damage over time items, and Triangle of Power feels bad if you have Bloody Hand or Blood Donation. Especially if you roll into them later and can't take them, it just feels bad. But I think people often should take it more than they do, because it is a very efficient item. 12 damage and 6 attack speed. Yeah, I'll take the spider. So we lose 6 attack speed here, because -3 dodge costs us 6 attack speed. But 12 damage. So it's attack speed neutral, because we have Reformation's hoodie. 12 damage is pretty good. Is it 181 materials good, actually? Maybe I'm better off just taking the materials here. Because we lose 5 harvesting, gain 12 damage. I think I'm just going to take the money. Take the claw tree, though, and here, let's take more dodge. We will take goblet and nail. We are going to upgrade to a level 4 loot, and we're making sure to upgrade our cursed loot. It will happen automatically, but we want to upgrade 2 level 3s to the cursed loot, because this increases the maximum debuff that enemies can have. 190% bonus damage, and we'll take a loot here and then roll. Don't really need the lifesteal from the whetstone. I will take silver bullet. Move speed, but we would lose luck from Terrified Onion. Warrior Helmet costs me speed, but I think that the armor is so good that I'm taking it anyways, and it also is worth 8 max HP, which isn't bad. And then we'll lock the Insanity and go to wave 18, or 17. I keep thinking that we're deeper into the run than we actually are because we're so strong, but that's the power of loot. And also the power of incredibly lucky shop. Sometimes the game just wants you to win, and this was one of those times. Gave me a very strong character with a very good weapon and excellent chops, so... we haven't yet gotten a really brutal combination for the random series this time, so I'm curious to see what will happen when I get something that's really, really tough. Because right now, we've mostly gotten fairly high-tier characters and fairly high-tier weapons. I'm going to recycle the tardigrade, and then let's pick up just some more armor here. More dodge. We're almost at dodge cap, which is nice. And of course, that's also more attack speed. We will take the loot and the insanity and then roll. Level 4 loot. Great. Just very happy to get as many of those as we can. Gonna pass on all these things. Gnome does give me 10 melee damage, but I don't think we care about it that much. I'll take the penguin, though, and then I'll roll. A level 1 loot is actually kind of nice, and I will take the wolf helmet as well. Although we have nail, so it cost me 1 damage scaling off the nail. The 20 luck is still just good enough to pick up. Pocket Factory I'm going to grab because I'm never passing Pocket Factory. That's just not who I am. And although it's not going to do anything for this build. We're going to run in here, and with our triple damage to the elite, I think we can probably take it out pretty quickly. because we can stack the debuff up to 190% bonus damage to it. These later waves are so much fun when you've got these, like, ridiculous combos. I do wish we'd found more cyber balls or baby elephants. That would have been a really nice find. Ooh, and Lute alien. That's a nice one. Because that would help clear the wave even faster. Potato, amazing. Obviously, these are all stats that we want, so we'll grab it. I'll take the banner here for even more attack speed. White flag, definitely not. Boiling water, we're going to recycle. Let's take, more attack speed. Just 200% attack speed. Don't mind if I do. I'm going to go ahead and combine here, buy a loot, and then I'll buy all of these items and roll. Gambling token does cost me armor, but it's also worth 16% attack speed. We're over dodge cap. I think I will take it, though. I think it's worth it. It's not incredible, but it is, I think, pretty good overall. I'll take a goblet here. I'm going to sell and buy this level 2 loot. It is a little painful whenever you have to do that, but worth doing anyways. And sure, we'll take a cursed frozen heart to round things out. We have 10 elemental damage because we bought the wolf helmet, so that's just going to be even more damage for our weapons with the frozen heart. Let's see, can we take a hit here? Can't even take a hit because I'm killing things too fast. There we go. A few more enemies spawn and we can start taking damage. And you can see that even though we're dodging the occasional hit, it's really not costing us because whenever we want to take damage, we can. We just move further into the big groups of enemies. And if we don't want to take damage, then the dodge is very, very helpful. Dodge basically lets you just live inside large groups of enemies more efficiently, which is really good for this character because that's what you want to do with all your regen and armor and defensive stats. And of course, the Masochist passive. You just want to walk into big groups of enemies a lot. Dodge lets you do that and come out the other side more regularly. So I think it is a mistake not to build dodge on characters that want self-damage. Okay, we got lucky. We got a pearl. And I'll take an alien tongue, why not? I'll take 5 armor here, just so we don't pop to the bosses. We'll take 4 regen as well. We can't use this level 1 loot, but we can buy both of these things and roll. Adrenaline for more attack speed and healing. Lucky Charm for even more damage. A cursed loot, excellent. We will pick that up. And unfortunately, can't buy the lantern. I would like to pick that up as well, but I'm definitely getting a level 3 cursed loot here. And I think Scared Sausage and Duct Tape are going to do more than what we could probably roll into. Head Injury would have been better, but those were at least things that gave me a little bit of a bonus, so I think they were worth picking up. I'd also definitely have bought the bait going into the boss wave. We don't have the money, but I just want you all to know that I'm no coward. Thunder Sword, the Cursed Thunder Sword would have been pretty fun to end things out with as well, but obviously this is a random weapon challenge, so we're sticking with the loot. And we're going to go ahead and kill these bosses. Gonna basically just stand in it. I'm just watching my HP here, just not decreasing as we just stand inside the boss and kill it. Kind of disrespecting them there. That was pretty funny. And obviously, this was an incredibly powerful run that ended very, very well. Let's take a look at our items here. So Recycling Machine was worth 600. That's pretty nice because we got that very early and we're a high luck build, so we were generating a lot of crates. 300 bonus harvesting from our very early crown. Incredible. 43k damage from the baby elephants. Only 13k from the spicy sauces. This is why I value this item for the HP when you really need HP, but not really for the damage because it doesn't tend to do that much damage. Bag, even late, gave us 255. Let's see, what else was good? We got quite a few additional stats from the barnacle. 49 HP recovered from the goblets. That was pretty nice. 224 materials saved from the Dangerous Bunny as well. So all of our economy items paid off really well. And of course, our core economy items, our weapons, were ridiculous. All right, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this Masochist random run. This was a super fun one. The game really gave us everything we could possibly want there, and we made the best of it, in my opinion, and obliterated the Abyss. If you are looking for a character to win the Abyss with, this, honestly, I would recommend. This felt like a very, very strong run, so this is a way to get a win if you are looking for a Danger 5 win for the Abyss. As always, of course, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.